Pete Thamel had a busy morning. Yahoo Sports, senior columnist, and broke the story that Urban Meyer is stepping down, and Pete kind enough to join us. Pete, let me start there. Maybe it's semantics. Stepping down or retiring? Is there a difference here?
Retiring is what it says in the official press release, and I think they're one and the same. I don't expect Urban Meyer to be a head coach again after this, and who knows, right? We spent a good decade and a half trying to crawl inside Urban Meyer's head, and he's been one of the most fascinating characters, I think, in the college football scene since he emerged at Utah back in 2003 and 2004, Dan. But I do think right now the combination of his health, the combination of just going at it as hard as he does, he's really struggled the last 2 years, Dan, with the headaches from the congenital arachnoid cyst that's in his head. There's been times where he hasn't been himself, and it's not in his DNA to become a CEO and to manage it that way. He's been 100 miles an hour his entire career, and I think this is a little bit of a sign that he doesn't feel like he can go as hard as he feels like he needs to go. It's the only way he knows how.
In 3 years, Urban Meyer is retired on TV or coaching again?
On TV. I will go with on TV. Some sources told me that TV is an option. I do think he'll stay affiliated with Ohio State in some way. There's a real genuine relationship with that school and with Gene Smith, the athletic director. And, one of his passions has always been leadership. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some role mentoring coaches and such. But again, it's all very early for that. But he was pretty good on TV when he was on ESPN. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I think right after the Rose Bowl, he'll probably work with the mothership for the Final Four. Feels like that would be, a nice parting gift, be able to do that, and then maybe opens the door to come back. I'm curious. I'm not surprised that he's stepping down. I'm just curious if there's more to the story than just health reasons for Urban Meyer.
I think I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you, just from the conversations that I've had with people around that program for, not only this, I don't think this is like a last 6 weeks or even 6 months story. I think this is a portrait of the last 2 years in him not feeling like he's able to go. And I also think it's combined with him feeling like Bob Stoops did 2 years ago when he walked away and handed it to Lincoln Riley. The program's in good shape. The successor is the right guy. Obviously, Ryan Day showed again against Michigan and Northwestern. I think Dwayne Haskins had 11 touchdown passes in his last 2 games. And when he does hand it off, the infrastructure that Meyer built at Ohio State, which I think is really an important factor here, Dan, Mickey Marotti, the longtime strength coach who's been with him, who's probably the best in the business, or certainly one of the 5 best. Mark Pantoni's the best recruiting director in the country. That machine's going to keep going. And then internally, operations, Brian Voltolini and Ryan Stamper, like Meyer's people, basically, his cabinet, his crew, are all going to stay in place to keep going. And I think that's something that was important to him as he walked away, that he wouldn't be leaving people in the lurch.
What can you tell us about Ryan Day, his successor?
I can tell you a lot about Ryan Day. He's a New Hampshire guy. He was recruited. You'll appreciate this with your NBA background, and he played against Matt Bonner in high school basketball in an epic game. I wrote a story about it when he was the interim earlier this year. It was like, I'm going to make it up, but it was like 29-28, and Ryan missed a shot at the buzzer. And if you ever have Matt Bonner on your show, he will talk about it with such giddy glee. But Ryan was a three-sport athlete, in high school. A plucky young offensive coordinator named Chip Kelly recruited Ryan to UNH to be a quarterback. He was Chip was under Sean McDonald there, the longtime UNH head coach. But Ryan and Chip are thick as thieves, and Ryan bounced around. He was a GA for Tom O'Brien at Boston College, a GA for Urban at Florida. He worked for Al Golden at Temple. He worked for Steve Adazio as the OC at Temple, and he and Don Brown were co-OCs at Boston College. He's obviously the great Michigan defensive coordinator, and that was under Steve Adazio. So Ryan is considered one of the better young offensive minds in all of football, and you'll appreciate this fun fact. He is now one of 3 Manchester, New Hampshire guys to be major college head coaches. He, Chip, and Dan Mullen all went to high school in Manchester, New Hampshire, along with Sarah Silverman and Adam Sandler. So there's your fun fact for the day.
Nice.
I did 10 things to know about Ryan Day on Yahoo Sports. So if you really want to dive into New Hampshire comedian minutia, you can go to the old exclamation point and look it up.
You thinking about writing a book on Ohio State season?
I'm not, but it has certainly been. It's certainly kind of felt like 3 seasons in one, right?
Yeah, I mean it's been it's been broken up. You know, you got your star player retires. You had what happened at the beginning of the year. Urban's health at the end of the year. You blow out Michigan. You're going to the Rose Bowl. Nearly missed the playoffs. You got a Heisman Trophy candidate, and then the coach decides to step down. Other than that,
no, it's there are a lot of people in that building who, when they won that Big Ten, like they were obviously excited, but they were just like taking a deep exhale. Of course, now all the coaches and the assistant coaches are on the road right now recruiting because it doesn't end in the college football world. But yeah, it has certainly been a wild year. There's no doubt.
I'll leave you with this. I know that we'll have some NFL openings. We had Lincoln Riley on yesterday, and he gave me the obligatory answer, the correct answer to give to somebody on a national platform. But I said, do you have an obligation to yourself and family to listen to these offers? And he said, no, I have a great job here. But the next, and I don't want to say Sean McVeigh because I'm so tired of people saying, you got to find the next Sean McVeigh. Can you see somebody making that jump to the NFL? Can Lincoln Riley look at that, even though he grew up a Cowboy fan, go into Cleveland, or could he go into Green Bay and be the next head coach?
Yeah, I think it raised a lot of eyebrows that John Dorsey, the Browns GM, was at the Big 12 title game on Saturday. I'll say this, Dan, to me, is as ripe of a year for the NFL to pluck a college head coach. Now, could be Jim Harbaugh, could be David Shaw, who said no a bunch of times over the years. Obviously, Lincoln's the hot guy. I think eventually Jeff Brom will get some looks at that level. But I agree with you. There's only one Sean McVay, and God bless him. He's been awesome there. But I think that model is going to become really popular, meaning young, energetic, offensive, open-minded type guy, and also quarterback guy and play caller. Like, I think it's vastly underestimated when you hire a head coach and he's also your play caller and your quarterback guy. That takes care of 65% of your problems.
But Pete, who was Sean McVay before Sean Mc? Who was the guy that everybody was looking for? That now we're looking for the next Sean McVay. Who were we looking at or for before Sean?
Well, the NFL was such this cycle of retreading Marty Morningwig type people, over and over and over and over and over, Norv Turners of the world. So I just think it's great. And it's honestly, I think we're going to look back in 10 years and be like, why did it take the NFL so long to catch up? As opposed to why is now I don't want to say the spread because that's become a trite term, but why have wide open offenses now become, why did it take so long for them to become the norm? People like them. Fans want to see them. I mean, Pat Mahomes has just been awesome. Now, if you had me on your show, that draft, I would have been like, Pat Mahomes, no way. I mean, that quarterback evaluation game is hard now, which is why I think it's so important to have a guy who can handle that position and be in that position.
Good stuff, Pete. Congrats on breaking the story. We appreciate your time.
Dan, thank you very much.
That's Pete Thamel, Yahoo Sports, breaking the story that Urban Meyer is retiring.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.